pitch and/or roll disagree flags are displayed when the captain's and the first officer's pitch and/or roll attitudes differ.
If the information is invalid, a flag is displayed. The attitude flag is displayed when attitude information is invalid. The flight director flag is displayed when flight director is selected but the information is invalid. The glide slope and/or localizer flag is displayed when the respective information is invalid. Approach reference information is displayed above and below the attitude indication. The approach receiver identifier or frequency and DME to the station is displayed above the attitude indication. The ILS radio provides this information. The selected approach course is displayed below the attitude indication. The flight management computer provides this information. Ground proximity warnings are enunciated below the attitude indication. This will be discussed in the ground proximity module. Now let's look at the altitude indication. The altitude indication is located on the right of the PFD. The moving tape indicates current and selected altitudes. Current altitude is always displayed in the box at the center of the altitude tape. The selected air data computer provides this information. The selected altitude is displayed at the top of the altitude tape and by an indicator on the altitude tape. The autopilot flight director system provides this information. The selected barometric pressure is displayed below the altitude indication. Setting the barometric pressure will be discussed later.
Minimum descent altitude, radio altitude, and decision height are also displayed. Atlas configures this presentation with the minimum descent altitude barometrically displayed in the lower right corner of the primary flight display, with decision height and radio altitude displayed in the upper right corner of the PFD.
Radio altitude is displayed below 2,500 feet AGL.
The rising runway is displayed when the localizer pointer is in view and the aircraft is below 1,000 feet radio altitude. The runway symbol moves toward the airplane symbol starting at 200 feet above ground level, AGL, to represent relative altitude. Minimum descent altitude, a barometric altitude setting, and decision height, a radio altitude setting, are displayed if selected on the respective EFIS control panel. An MDA indication is displayed on the altitude indicator. Descending below the set decision height changes the display to an amber flashing radio altitude. The flashing radio altitude is reset automatically on go-around at 75 feet above the set decision height, or decision height can be reset manually. Selecting an MDA lower than minus 100 feet, or inserting a negative value for DH will remove the respective display.
The EFIS control panels are located on the glare shield. The left EFIS control panel controls the captain's PFD, and the right panel controls the first officer's PFD. The EFIS control panel is used to select decision height, minimum descent altitude, altimeter metric reference, and barometric pressure.
Rotating the outer selector selects decision height or minimum descent altitude. Pushing the reset switch resets the flashing DH. The display returns to normal. There is no MDA alert.
Rotating the outer barometric selector selects inches of mercury or hectopascals as the barometric pressure reference. Rotating the middle barometric control sets the desired pressure. The set pressure is displayed on the respective PFD. Pressing the inner switch automatically selects the standard pressure. STD will be displayed below the altitude indication. With standard selected, a barometric pressure setting can be pre-selected by turning the barometric control. The preset value is displayed below STD. Pressing the standard switch with the preset value displayed selects the value as the current barometric pressure setting. The barometric setting transfer alert will box the current barometric setting if a numeric setting is displayed when climbing above the transition altitude, or if STD is displayed when descending below the transition flight level. The setting will also change to amber. Selecting meters displays current and selected altitude in meters. The altitude in feet remains displayed.
The landing altitude reference bar displays a white bar from 1,000 feet to 500 feet above landing altitude, and an amber bar from 500 feet above to landing altitude. The landing altitude indicator displays an amber hatch mark at the landing altitude.
When no computed information is received or the information is determined to be invalid, the respective indicator is not displayed. If decision height, radio altitude, or altitude information is invalid, a flag is displayed. Now let's discuss the vertical speed indication. The vertical speed indication is located on the right of the PFD. Vertical speed information is provided by the selected IRS and air data computer. A vertical speed greater than or equal to 400 feet per minute will be digitally displayed above or below the indication.
The vertical speed pointer is displayed when set on the Autopilot Flight Director Mode Control panel.
When no computed information is received or the information is determined to be invalid, the respective indicator is not displayed. If the vertical speed information is invalid, a flag is displayed.
Question. Answer B is correct.
Finally, let's look at the heading indication. The heading indication is located on the bottom of the PFD. Current heading is displayed in the center of the arc below the heading pointer. The selected IRS provides this information. The selected heading is displayed digitally. It is also indicated by the double box below the arc. The selected flight control computer or autopilot flight director system provides this information.
Track is displayed as a solid white line. The Flight Management Computer or IRS provides this information.
The heading reference is also displayed. MAG is for magnetic, TRU is for true. No computed information is received, or the information is determined to be invalid, the respective indicator is not displayed. If the heading information is invalid, a flag is displayed.
Question.
Answer B is correct.